Hey, this is Christopher Jones again. I come to you from Memphis, Tennessee. My place of being raised, not where I was born, but I was raised here in Memphis. I have left Atlanta. Atlanta was a nightmare for me. Um, I moved there in August of 2016. Taught for DeKalb County School District. Is probably the worst experience of my life in terms of my career, and won't discuss DeKalb County School District tonight, but it's a travesty to say the least. Left Atlanta August 2017, moved to Chongqing, China. Taught in Chongqing up until the end of April, left China May 2018, returned to the United States, and thought that I was going to be back in Chongqing as of August 2018, and that didn't happen. Um, I have now been reassigned to Dalian, China, beginning February 2019. So I'm in the meantime, the interim. What's going to happen between now and February? Well, God definitely has. Wow, I have to put all my honor and glory and give Him the credit. But this is a challenge of my life that I've never just expected. So I left Atlanta last night, came back here to Memphis, hoping and praying that I would have the support of family and friends, and haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. Some of these people go to church every day. I won't say every day, not every day, but they go to church on the regular. They give their tithes and offerings, but yet they could have a family member in great need. Literally see out on the street homeless, and I don't know. It's heartless. It's amazing to me. But that's between them and their God. Um, I'm starting to wonder if they serve the same God that I serve, because the God that I serve is not like that. If you do unto the least of these, you've done unto Him. And so I don't understand people. I don't understand people in ministry who can do some of the horrific things that I've seen as well. Um, it's amazing. And I guess maybe that's the devil pretending or parading as as a godly. I don't know. That's not for me to judge. All I can do is speak on me and who I am and what God has for me to do. Um, as I've said before, He's put upon my life a call, and I have to trust and believe that He has not allowed me to be in this place and will leave me or forsake me. I'm in a very difficult place, and I won't go into all of the situations for me right now. They are testimonies to come. There are more testimonies when we come out of them, seemingly to me, rather than going through them. I've been through so many challenges throughout my entire life. I've been so blessed. Let me say that first of all. I have truly been blessed. God has allowed me to travel this world like a rich man. I've been to most of the places on the planet that I wanted to visit, some of them many, many, many times. Cancun me gustaría, Cancun, México es mi, mi ciudad de favorite. Um, I've been to Cancun, I guess, maybe 25 times since 1993. Las Vegas, too many times to count. Florida, Miami is probably my favorite place in the United States. Orlando, New York City. Lived in Washington, D.C. for a total of 8 years. Most recently, Atlanta, that I can't stand. I've lived in Detroit, Michigan. Briefly lived in Philadelphia when I was going to University of Pennsylvania. Have traveled all over the United States, all over the Caribbean, to most of the major resorts in Mexico, aside from Cancun, Los Cabos, Puerto Vallarta, in addition to Cancun. Um, Gosh, all over the Caribbean, numerous times, many times to the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Aruba. I don't know if I'm leaving anywhere out. Jamaica, man. Oh, many times to Jamaica. Um, Gosh, I've just really been blessed. Been to Hawaii. Took my mom to Hawaii before she passed away. She thoroughly loved it. Just been blessed. Most recently lived in Chongqing, China. Taught Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Pre Algebra to Asian students. One of the most rewarding experiences of my career in Asia. Also, one of the most rewarding experiences of my career teaching adjudicated youth here in Memphis. Back in 2003, I was hired by then, I don't even know if it still exists, Corrections Corporation of America. Taught adjudicated youth and students who were under the age of 18 who had committed heinous crimes, but an opportunity to minister to them and try to get them back on the right track. And hopefully, some of those gentlemen, if they're still around today, hopefully they have some appreciation for Mr. Jones and the things that I try to teach them, and not only about computer literacy, but about life. Um, my career has been in education, and that in and of itself is ministry. I didn't want to do it. Come from a family of educators. My mother, of course, God rest her soul. I miss her so dearly. Louise Little Jones, who passed on Christmas Day 2014, um, was a retired school teacher here in Memphis. Myself personally, my career started here in Memphis in 1992 at Denver School. Taught fifth and sixth grade for 5 years. Went on to Cypress Junior High School. Taught eighth grade math and assistant football coach. Left Cypress. Went to Haven View Middle School. Taught computer literacy there for 3 years. Briefly went on to Kirby Middle before I went to Washington D.C. the first time. Taught at a school in Northeast Washington called Kenilworth Elementary. At Kenilworth, I taught every child in the building from pre-K through sixth grade, computer literacy. Unfortunately, lived in D.C. during the events of September 11th. I stayed in D.C. to the end of that school year. Left D.C. in June of 2002. Moved back to Memphis. As I said, became a part of Shelby Training Center, which was the name of the maximum security prison for juveniles here in Memphis at the time. It no longer exists. I take it that the state has closed the facility, thank God. Horrific place in the sense of people who make money off of people being incarcerated. Terrible concept of privatized prisons. Corrections Corporation of America, based in Nashville, Tennessee. Place that I really can't stand, but I was there last night in Nashville changing um, buses as I traveled from Atlanta to Memphis. But at any rate, after Shelby Training Center, where did I go next? Oh, to West Memphis School District in Arkansas. Taught fifth grade math and science. Then went on to Millington Middle School here in Tennessee. Taught eighth grade math and became promoted then through New Leaders for New Schools as a resident principal and assistant principal for 2 years here in Memphis. Unfortunately, worked with some crooks. There are too many crooks in the field of education. Worked with one at Garden View Elementary School, who I will leave her nameless, and worked with a different type of fiend of individuals at Egypt Elementary in the Raleigh area of Memphis. Two of the most heinous women I've ever seen before in my life. But that's between them and their God. If they believe, well, one of them didn't believe in God. One of them was very much a vocal atheist, and the other one claims she believed in God, but her actions didn't reflect that. Had to sue Memphis City Schools, won that case. Took about 3 years to settle that. Went back to Washington, D.C. as an assistant principal, instructional coordinator, AP coordinator. Did some of it all at Cardozo Senior High School for 5 years. Very rewarding time of my career. Met a very great educator by the name of Gwendolyn Grant. We remain friends to this day. Not quite sure how she is during this time of knowing some of my struggles, but again, that's something else I won't go into right now. But appreciate the tutelage under Gwen Grant. Served there until 2012. And then, unfortunately, because DC Public Schools and its corruption felt that there needed to be a change at Cardozo, even though we had brought a failing school out and turned it around completely, made it one of the greatest gains in DC CAS test scores of any comprehensive high school in the Washington, D.C. Area. But still, they changed the administration. I went to Drew Elementary School under a person who I will just shake my head. Um, Stayed there for a year, briefly went to PG County schools, and just saw some of the horrific mess in public education. Left and moved back to Memphis in 2014 to take care of my mother. My mother had been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and took care of her. And anyway, I didn't mean to talk this long because this video is not going to be able to be published like it is. All right, take care. God bless.